Okay then, welcome back to the channel. Fancy text and intros. I have finally upped the editing quality ever so slightly. I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, tonight we're going to be looking at Workhorse again. Of course, if you're new to the channel, we talk about all kinds of stocks on a daily basis. We upload about 3 videos a day, sometimes 2, but basically we do loads of information on stocks. So if that does sound good, please do subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the way, so if you are new around here, please do join by subscribing. On top of that, if you could leave a like, massively appreciated. And if you want to share this with any of your family members, feel free to, or your friends. Last thing that I want to talk about is now we have a Discord server. So Discord is obviously an online chat room where we talk about all kinds of stocks. I think we've got about 40 members in there now, and honestly, it's growing very fast. Now, the fact that we've got so many members is a great thing because you can talk to each other about all kinds of stocks. So it's really kind of informative and cool to be in. So yeah, now I've said that, let's have a quick look at Workhorse. Cue the intro. So now that we've played our fancy intro, we're going to have a quick look at the previous price action of the stock. If you have a look on the screen right now, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I did zoom in so that you can see it. Hopefully you can still see it here. If we have a quick look on the 1 day, we are red. Of course, this was the last Friday. So last Friday we went down from $20.71 and ended up on $19.22. So when we look at that from a percentage loss and a points loss, that's about 7.4% according to Google, and it's minus $1.55. Looking out to the 5 days, we are finally green. So we started off the week 17.87, and then we finished off the week on 19.22. So I think that's about a $2 gain. Let's check that. That's $1.35 gain and 7.5% increase. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the pattern for this. Actually, it was quite volatile. So yeah, towards the start of the week, we saw a big spike up. That put us about 9% on a 1 day. Going from there, however, we did kind of level out all the way up to here, where we saw a small increase of 5%. From there, we saw an even bigger increase. This was about 2 or 3%. So it's about 2% increase, and then we just fell off a cliff. So why am I making this video tonight? We are finally seeing Workhorse stock go upwards. I mean, yes, the last Friday, Thursday and Friday day period was actually a downwards day. However, looking from the 2nd of November, or even the 30th of October, we have kind of been up all the way since then. So when we have a quick look, we're up 24%, and when we look out to a 6-month period, we are actually still up. So of course, we did see this huge sell-off where from basically around this point, we're going to say the price did go down. So I'll zoom in a bit for you. From about the price point of $30, the price went down all the way to about $16. And from now, I'm really thinking about buying this one again, because obviously we are finally seeing the price go up, and that is kind of indicating that the sell-off may be over. So of course, looking at factors which accumulated to the sell-off first, before we look at if this is a buy, one of the main factors in my opinion was the fact that they haven't, or did not yet get the the USPS contract, and of course a lot of people were looking towards that, and the fact that they didn't get that means that the price kind of fell and fell and fell as people lost hope to the point where we're at now. Of course, we had the election in the United States. Of course, this being an American company was kind of important. It played a crucial part in the price of the stock, basically. So these kind of factors basically drove the price down. Another thing was with the Nikola fraud. With the Nikola fraud, I think a lot of people got a bit apprehensive with this stock. They were thinking that it's a similar story because it's another electric startup. Obviously, we know that the company is producing trucks. Whether or not they are shipping them to the United States Postal Service is another story. So, a bit of important news for an update on this stock. I believe they have recently had their earnings out, if we can find them. Yep, so it's Q3 2020. Honestly, I don't know what day that was reported on, but when we have a quick look, it looks like they were actually down. So they were expecting as minus 0.8% EPS. This actually turned out to be a minus 0.15%, so that's about minus 82.41% surprise according to Google. Revenue figures were at 1.81 million expected. The actual revenue was about 564k, so obviously that's under half of that figure. That's apparently a minus 68.8% surprise, so obviously not the best figures for this company. Honestly, I think we've seen a lot of companies not do too well in this quarter. I'm not 100% sure why, but obviously the expectations for the company did not match the reality, and of course that probably accumulated to that Friday sell-off. So of course, like I just said, I'm not 100% sure why, what day, sorry, that information came out, but either way, it has been very recently because it's Q3. So yeah, it will have played an effect in probably the Friday price, because a lot of these other stocks did come out on the 12th, their information, and then that hit them on the 13th, what actually went, whether it was good or bad. So, never mind what's happened in the past, that's a quick update. Let's have a look at what's going to happen in the future. So, a few important pieces of information. Let's just cross off these tabs. We'll have a quick look over to this news article, and this is two things that I want to talk about. A potential United States lockdown. Of course, this is never ever going to happen under Trump, because he just doesn't want to lock down the country. So, of course, the fact that he doesn't want to lock down means that if a lockdown is going to happen, it's going to be when Biden does get in, and that's, of course, I think it's going to be January, forgive me if I'm wrong, in 2021. And of course, if that does happen, I think for the long term, or at least for the shorter term, if we don't get a vaccine by then, that could potentially have a negative effect on the share price, as they won't be selling to companies, because of course, why is a company going to buy a delivery van in a period where they're getting no deliveries? It just doesn't make sense, because they'll have to pay for maintenance on the van, etc, etc. So of course, if a lockdown does happen, that could potentially affect the company's stock price, but who knows what's going to happen with that. Another thing about who knows, Trump might actually be stepping down, because a lot of people were saying that he was not going to go and step down. They were going to say he was going to stay in and, kind of say that the election is rigged, but it does look like he might be finally changing his mind round to the thought of actually stepping down. Now, whether you like the guy or hate the guy, that's completely on you, but it is going to cause trouble if he does stay when he's not welcome, and of course that could potentially affect the stock market as a whole, and of course this stock will be no exception to this probably. So if he finally does go peacefully, this could be a great thing to see whether you like him or not. So what does Biden say? We already know what Biden says because I covered it in another video, but just to recap, I think he is more towards the theory of electric vehicles and, generally speaking, a cleaner environment, whereas Trump was more on the petrol diesel side, burning the resources that the country has. And of course, this is kind of a good thing for this stock and a few other electric company stocks, because of course, if the new president does endorse electric vehicles a lot more, then, this does have a potential to grow the market, and the Workhorse will be no exception to that growth as well. So yeah, another thing is, of course, Workhorse is kind of a specialist in its industry, in the sense that, there's not really a lot of other companies in the United States that do what they do. So of course, that puts them at an advantage as well. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the figures. So we're going to have a look at the stock price forecast, because it has been updated from what I can see. So we did have a quick look at this previously, but now it's been updated again, and honestly, at the start of the year, I think we were looking at huge growth for this stock, and I was just reading that article. I decided not to chuck it into the video because there was not really much point, but in that article they were talking about how basically this stock has performed so well to the year, and that is absolutely true. On the year, it has performed about a 532% increase, which is amazing for a stock. However, it's kind of dropped off in the past few months. It's kind of going sideways. However, it is finally going upwards, and that is our first indication of good news. So, of course, whether you buy it or not based on this is up to you, but basically the fact that it's going up finally is a good thing to see, and that's why I decided to make this video, because we've seen a few weeks or days at least of the stock going up, and a few people would probably want to buy at this reduced price. Whether it is a reduced price, whether it's going to go lower, do tell me in the comments, but we are not finishing the video yet, because we have not had a quick look at the analysts and what their buy rating is, because I've just given mine, which is I'm not 100% sure. I am looking to buy. I am not buying yet. If it goes down even further, I would not buy yet. I would just wait until it levels out, because in my opinion, it has not leveled out yet. It's either going to go down or up. But analysts, we have 4 of them, and the analysts themselves are saying that the stock is going to have a median target of $23 exactly, high of $26 and a low of 19. So of course the highest is a 35% increase, the lowest is a 1.1% decrease in the price. So we have 5 analysts this time which are recommending whether to buy or sell the stock. So 3 of them are actually saying buy, so the majority only buy 1 though, but the majority is saying buy. So generally speaking, the whole idea and the principle behind this one from the analysts are saying that yes, this is a sturdy stock to buy according to money.cnn.com. We have 2 other analysts saying hold, so of course that means don't buy the stock if you don't really have it, but if you do have it, don't worry about having the stock, so it will probably do well either way. So that is just what our analysts say. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys have to say about the stock. And if you do want to come and tell me either in the comments or tell me on Discord, preferably on Discord, because then I'll be easier to comment back on you. So yeah, thank you for your time. If you want to watch another video on the channel, feel free to by all means. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.